For today's video, I thought I'd show how I made these Oakley renders that we used on a spec commercial. We ended up projecting it over the sunglasses and it looked pretty cool, so I thought I'd show how I made them. Jumping into this project file, I'll first show off how I made this morphing effect. I was just messing around and I just somehow made this, so I thought I'd show how I made it. To start off, we've got two distort blurs by Sapphire. So I think I had this at first, and then I think I just added another one, and you get that chromatic aberration sort of rainbow effect. So these are my settings. For the keyframes, just start at 0 and 0.03. And then go 10 seconds, changed it to 1000 and then 0.3. And then for this middle one, to just get a little bit more variation, let's change it to 1 on the amount relation. Because I was playing this on a projector, I had to loop it for like a minute. So these are just the same keyframes, copied and pasted. And if you want to take this effect like one step further, I found using find edges and then also deep glow becomes this like really cool, it's almost like a bubble. So yeah, if you wanted a variation of that, just, you can just use these. Here's mine. And awesome. Alright, jump back in. For the second effect, it was like a infinite tunnel loop. It's pretty simple, but it looked pretty cool when we were recording. Alright, to make this effect, I'm using After Effects' like 3D camera. So I'll turn everything off. So you start with just the logo, and then these are all 3D layers, so check this box. And then I've just duplicated it a few times and then moved the Z axis like by 1000 at a time. So then you'll get a whole bunch of just like, these are all lined up, but they're in 3D, so you need to create a camera. Yep, perfect. And then this camera just moves from 1 to 5000 on the Z axis. So it just moves through these logos. And then I just did the same find edges and deep glow, and that's pretty much the effect. Pretty simple. For this acoustics effect, I actually found a really good tutorial on YouTube. I'll link in the description, but I'll quickly show. These are the settings. So you start off with fractal noise, just change the strings and spline, and then you blur it, use CC vector blur, levels, and distort chroma. The main effect comes from this box blur, where you just keyframe the blur radius from 40 to around 60, 70, and then back to 40, and you get that. Then you get this nice underwater effect. But yeah, I'll just link the video in the description. You also don't need to use distort chroma, but kind of adds a bit of variation to it. It's kind of nice. Finally, I made this. This is a grid of Oakley logos, but I wanted to make it more interesting with this like wave pattern going on. So I'll show you how I made that. So first, we start off with just a singular Oakley logo. And then I used Reptile to make a grid out of it, and then to make the wave, I used 4-color gradient, just made black and white, and then you just keyframe them just to move in and out. Yep, and then Then I used motion tile and turbulent displace to add a bit more variation twisting. So I use twist, and then you just keyframe the evolution to, it just cycles through the evolution like 30 times. And then I ended up rendering that out. So you just get the wave going crazy. And then just to have it, yeah. And then so it only plays over the Oakley logos. You just use silhouette luma. Then that's the final effect. That's pretty much it for these renders. Let me know what you guys think, and we've got a full behind the scenes video coming out on the large format page, but I'll go more in depth in that behind the scenes. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys want more breakdown tutorials on this channel. Alright, peace. Fast bitch when I block you got no skin.